Hello, everybody. My name is Jacob, and welcome back to the Epileptic Gamer podcast. It's been a bit, and never thought I'd actually do a podcast episode on this because there's really never a reason to do a podcast episode on this. It's one of those situations where it's like life is strange, where it's like I never thought I'd do one, but here we are. Make it make sense, Sony. Explain this to me, and I'm going to say this in the most simple terms. The state of play just got done, maybe around an hour ago, give or take. This is May 30th. So this is the May 30th state of play. And it just got done. And the one game that looked slightly good, and I mean slightly good, that I've never seen before, was Concord. And that what game this looks like a little bit of a copy of Overwatch. Explain to me how we can go from extremely excited state of plays where we know for a fact we're going to get something incredible. And I mean incredible. 2021, they had a stacked lineup. They announced Spider-Man 2 and Ghost of Tsushima in one freaking state of play, and it broke the internet. Explain to me how we can go to that to what we just saw today, where people are legitimately spamming, as I speak, just complete L's in the chat, and I think even IGN disabled the chat because it got so bad. Again, I say this with the utmost urgency. Make it make sense. There's no reason to make state of plays anymore if they're going to put indie titles in the game. It's like, don't get me wrong, I get indie titles have a spot. They do. And you most likely have marketing contributions that you got to get through. It's contractual obligations. There's probably a lot of legal shit that goes into state of plays. I get that. At the same time, you can't announce new games, then show one new game. No, that's not how this works. You can't show more gameplay. If you're going to show a new game, and it's a cinematic trailer, they do disclose it's a cinematic trailer. I'm not knocking that. But that's a conversation for another game, and that might even be a new podcast episode for another day. But if you're going to show a brand new game, you need to have some meat behind it. You need to have detail. You need to at least go off of something. You cannot just go, oh, hey, let's say, for example, hey, here's Concord, and we'll call it a day. Now, that's not what happened in the state of play. In the state of play, they actually went in a little bit of detail of what the game's going to be. And I respect the hell out of that. They told us it's a brand new studio. This is the first game. They're going to do the best they can. What they sound, this game is going to be one of those games where it's going to be extremely good or extremely bad. No in between. It's one of those type of games. And I'm going to play it. I will. It looks like it has potential. But you can't get people's hopes up when you have a new Santa Monica IP, a new Naughty Dog IP, Ghost of Tsushima 2, Ghost of Tsushima movie, this keeps going, Spider-Man 2 DLC, Sly Cooper just got announced for the PlayStation 2, so imagine the hype that got. And yes, Sly Cooper is back on the PlayStation without streaming nonetheless. Imagine how big that is. So when they announced that, you announced a state of play right after. People initially thought Sly Cooper 5 was on the horizon. And it was. People legitimately thought, and there was leaks saying that it was a legitimate possibility. You could also have a possibility of Life is Strange coming back. You also have, I said Horizon 3, you could also do another DLC for Horizon. You have so much that you have on the horizon. Not not making puns here. You got so much that you can announce. You can't even make a teaser for it. Like, you announce Until Dawn, the remake, built from the ground up. Cool, awesome. That game was a launch title. Personally, I love it, and I'm probably going to play it again. I hate myself for doing it, but I'll play it again. Because it looks like they added in some new scenes. I want to get the best ending, etc., etc. You get the gist. But at the same time, like, why? You gotta fix this. Make it worth it. You cannot just say, oh, we're going to show you new games to call it a day. No, that's not how this works anymore. You're going to have The Last of Us people waiting, which, let's call a spade. I might just stop covering that, because unless the HBO series starts coming out soon, which is probably next year, because what happens is that when that comes out, you want to know what happens? That's going to get the most coverage. That's where your money's going to be, and that's what you're going to lean into. You cancel a Spider-Man multiplayer game. The trailer got leaked for it, and it looked incredible. At least I thought it looked incredible. You couldn't have maybe, I don't know, repurposed that, made that Spider-Man 2 DLC. You could have done so much. It made this from a 4 out of 10, which is what I rated this, to maybe a 7 or an 8. How, if you would have gone on record and say, here's the release date for Until Dawn, then you would have made that at least a 7 out of 10. Maybe 6. Because we have release dates. I don't want a release date for Marvel Rivals. No, I don't want that. Because I know it's going to be this year, no matter what. I want Until Dawn. God forbid I want one of my favorite video games of all time for the PlayStation 4 to have a effing release date. I almost dropped an F-bomb there where it needed to be. No, it's good. To have a fucking release date. But no, you're going to say a fall of 2024. When we all know it's going to be fucking Halloween. Let's call it fall of 2024. No, it's Halloween of 2024. And if it's not that, it's going to be close to it. Because it's a horror game. I think. I mean, yeah, I guess you can justify that as a horror game. But no matter what, it comes down to the fact that you need to tell us, do you have new games on the horizon, and do you have gameplay trailers? Cinematic trailers ain't cutting it anymore. You are wondering why people are getting pissed off at you? It's because we're looking at these trailers. We think it's gameplay. We buy the game imagining that the game trailer we saw is the gameplay, and we get severely disappointed. And it's a vicious cycle over and over and over again. And it's going to happen with College Football 25. It's going to happen with Madden 25. It's going to happen with every single sports game like it does every single year. It's going to happen with every game all the time. They even said that around 66% of the games that were played, 80 of them. 80 games that were played. 66 were older games. Let that sink in for a bit. So that means Suicide Squad, God of War, all of that. Yeah. That didn't get played. That got played once and it was set aside. They went back to the older stuff. Why? Because it actually was complete. They actually had trailers for it when it came out. And if you want to go back at it, and let's call a spade, want to know when it got announced? 2021, the 2019-2021 era, when the state of plays were worth it. You gotta make it worth it. That's just a spade. That's the cold hard truth of it all. make it make sense on why you're making these things so bad. Like, you cannot just have someone go on screen for 15 minutes and say, hey, here's the trailers we got, enjoy, and pray to God it's going to be well received when it's not going to be. I get it. There's probably marketing obligations that you gotta hit. But Summer Games Fest comes up, I believe, 1 week tomorrow. June 7th. If they fail, and they make, then, oh, buddy, Sony is not going to have a good year. And I pray that they knock it out of the park, because this is the time where you hit your heavy hitters now. Now, the meta theory going around is that maybe it was marketing obligations. And this is another thing that I had questioned. You could have put this in a blog post, but they didn't. Why are you announcing a PC game on a PS5 state of play? I get it, it's still God of War Ragnarok, but it's the port to PC. What? Why? Why are you announcing it on the state of play? So, for example, if I have a PC, I'm not going to be watching a PlayStation state of play. I'm just going to find out through Steam. That makes no sense. Put it in a blog post. Say, hey, this is when it's coming. Again, it comes down to my favorite saying of all time. Make it make sense. I mean, that should be the catchphrase of this damn podcast. Make it make sense. Because a lot of the shit that's going down right now ain't making sense. And I would love for people to prove me wrong. So, before I blow a gasket, and because I have to record another one of these episodes, my name is Jacob. This was the Epileptic Gamer podcast. And Sony, for the love of God, make it make sense. I mean, it should not be that hard. You could throw in one good trailer. Just one. And it would be fine. The Game Awards were better. Let's just throw that into consideration. So, my name is Jacob. This was the Epileptic Gamer podcast. And I will see you all in the next episode. Bye-bye.